Hi, I'm Angela Walters from Quilting is My Therapy, and I love machine quilting with rulers. Machine quilting with rulers is one technique that can grow with machine quilters no matter their skill level. So whether you're brand new at machine quilting or have plenty of years of experience, you're gonna love it. Not only do rulers help you create designs that are difficult to freehand, they allow you to create those designs consistently over the whole quilt. I'm excited to announce that for the first time you can get all of my Creative Grids machine quilting rulers in two thicknesses, one for high shank machines and one for low shank machines. In general, you'd use the 1/4 inch thick acrylic rulers for machine quilting on a long arm or a high shank sewing machine. This thickness is desirable for those machines because it prevents the foot of your machine from slipping over your ruler. And if you've ever had that happen, you know it's not fun. It breaks the needle, it breaks the ruler, you pee your pants. I mean, in theory. But if you have a low shank sewing machine, that 1/4 inch thickness is going to be too thick to allow the ruler to slide up right next to the foot, preventing you from making beautiful quilting designs. In this case, you would want to use a thinner machine quilting ruler, about an 1/8 inch thick. It's best to figure out what kind of shank your sewing machine has before picking out a ruler. That will prevent you from buying one that isn't compatible with your machine. But how do you know if your sewing machine is a high shank or a low shank? I am so glad you asked. The shank on a sewing machine is the metal rod at which the presser foot attaches to. And where that foot attaches will determine whether your machine is a high shank or a low shank. To measure how high your shank is, you're going to measure from the center of the hole where that screw goes in to the bottom of the machine with your foot in the down position. A high shank machine will have about an inch from the bottom of the sewing machine to the hole where the screw goes in. In this ruler, I know that this marking line is 1 inch, so that means that this is a high shank sewing machine. For these kind of machines, I'm going to use the 1/4 inch thick machine quilting rulers. On a low shank machine, the distance between the hole where that screw goes in and the bottom of your machine will be about 1/2 inch. In this case, you're going to use the 1/8 inch thick machine quilting rulers. Now, if you're measuring and you still can't quite figure out whether your machine is high shank or low shank or somewhere in between, you can always reach out to your sewing machine manufacturer. Or you can use this handy trick to see which rulers to use on your machine. If you have two regular rotary cutting rulers handy, stack them on top of each other, and this will approximate about 1/4 inch. Then place them snug against the foot on all 4 sides. If you can touch the rulers to that foot on all 4 sides, that means you can use the 1/4 inch thick acrylic rulers. If you can't, that means you should go with the low shank rulers. But once you've figured out what kind of machine you have, then it's time to decide which ruler to get. In this video, I'm going to show you how to use the Sid ruler. I like to think of Sid as the Swiss Army knife of all my machine quilting rulers. He does a little bit of everything. Quilt along the straight edge for stitching in the ditch, using these extensions to make sure your lines will line up perfectly. Or if you want to create a curvy bracket effect, quilt along the curvy side, using those needle stops to quickly reposition your ruler. If you're having trouble staying on track though, you can quilt along the inside of Sid to keep you on track for stitching those straight lines. Plus, you can rotate the ruler to create some really neat starburst effects. That means you can use Sid in just about every part of your quilt. And as a bonus, Sid's about the size of your hand, meaning that you'll always have great control as you're quilting. And as you can see, the possibilities are endless. All my Creative Grids machine quilting rulers are made with high quality acrylic, have the Creative Grids grip on the back to keep the ruler from sliding, and markings in black and white, which means you'll see them no matter what color fabric you're using. To learn more about this ruler or any of my machine quilting rulers with Creative Grids, check the description box in the link below. Happy ruler quilting!